torí kó bá ti lóyún sínú ẹbẹ̀ láti ẹ̀gbàgbọ́ títí fún mọ́kà mú ebi.
The people believe that its waters cleanse the body and spirit. They drink from it, bathe in it, and use it in their daily lives, trusting the In the heart of Ado-Ekiti flows a sacred river known as Omirin, the river of divine fishes. Here, the waters do more than nourish the land. They carry the spirit of a goddess. Local legend tells of a powerful deity who transformed herself into this river, leaving behind as sacred children the fishes that swim within. To harm them is taboo. To eat them unthinkable. According to the people, no matter how long this fish boils, it will never soften. And anyone who dares to defile the sacred order by catching or cooking a fish from Omirin will face the wrath of the goddess herself. The Erin Ayonigba River is not only a site of mystery, but also of healing. The people believe that its waters cleanse the body and spirit. They drink from it, bathe in it, and use it in their daily lives, trusting the river spirit to protect their community from harm. Visitors often come to feed the sacred fish with bread, watching as they gather gracefully at the surface. For the people of Erin, Omirin is more than just the water. It is life, healing, and the heartbeat of their faith. Data according to the United Nations World Food Programme says 30.6 million Nigerians face acute food insecurity. Experts blame on many factors which include the security challenges in the North and Middle Belt, post-harvest losses, poor storage facility, and a couple of other issues. Over the years, there have been efforts at boosting food production in Nigeria, taking advantage of its over 70 million hectares of land, multiple agroecological zones, and a climate favorable for year-round farming. There have been several other such interventions by governments at council, state, and federal levels, including the Produce for Lagos program and the 500 billion naira guarantee fund scheme by the Lagos state government. In September, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Yari, said the prices of food items have crashed across the country, but some Nigerians differ, saying they are yet to feel the ease.
Before, we said chicken for it before, but now we sell 5,000 naira.
This one, the food are selling
300. Now at the selling 500 because only don't cost. Down at the selling, before at the selling 3,500. Now at the selling 6,000. Shall be able to don't cost.
About 2 months ago, we are buying the food like rice or back of rice is 70 something thousand naira, like 75, 78, 73. But now 60, 62, 50, 55 safe. So if I look, it's gone down now. Not to say like if you have increasing the price now.
2025 marks the 80th anniversary of the annual World Food Day, which is celebrated on October the 16th every year. This year with the theme, Hand in Hand for Better Food and a Better Future, the United Nations target building a peaceful, sustainable and food-secure future where everyone has access to a healthy diet. To achieve this, experts suggest the way forward must be comprehensive, from tackling insecurity to investing in climate resilience farming to improving storage, irrigation and transportation systems. That's in addition to strengthening farmers' cooperatives, access to finance and research. With the right investment, policies and protection for its farmers, Nigeria may be on its way from food insecurity to food sovereignty. Because in a nation so richly blessed, no one should go hungry.
If you order both InDrive or Uber and you see this man run for your life.
Immediately I entered this man's car, there was something hanging in front of his mirror. It looked so fetish and...
But this same man picked me up, May 3rd, and he did the same thing.
Olo chef boat, chef Uber, chef InDrive.
I'm getting scared because like, oh my God, what if he's the one? You guys, please be careful.
This is the man who goes around in boats, InDrive and Uber, allegedly robbing women of their belongings, raping ladies in his ride, and pretending to offer safe transport while carrying knives, scissors, guns, and other weapons in his car.
This guy has pepper spray, he has gun, he has sharp weapons, whatever.
For months, young women have cried out, sharing stories of their painful encounters with this predator. They talk about how he allegedly threatens them, hurts them, and strips them not just of their possessions, but of their dignity.
And you are telling me I'm not with your phone. He's like, you want me to kill you here? Immediately, he now brought out the knife. He was not holding the knife. He said he's going to stab me to death. Started diverting to another route. That do I have condom inside my bag? Look at what he was asking me. I said I don't have condom inside my bag. He now searched my bag. That he's going to send my body in parts. That he already has people that will buy my body.
Despite these cries and warnings, he is still on the road. He is still picking up unsuspecting women and still moving through Uber, Bolt, and InDrive like a hunter, waiting for his next victim. And the most heartbreaking question remains, why is a man like this still allowed to drive? Why has no company taken firm action to protect the very people they promise safety to?
Uber are still allowing this man to drive after he has victimized a lot of girls. Every day they're going to complain about our riders. Every day.
So why would Uber and Bolt and InDrive allow a known criminal walk with them?
Will you be employing a highway robber to be on the highway picking people?
Every day that passes without justice is another day of risk for countless women. What use is technology if it cannot protect the vulnerable? What good is business when it ignores the cries of the broken? To the companies, the question is simple. How many more women must be hurt before you act? How many more tears must fall before you listen?
Please, Nigerian police, come to our help. Like, the government should look into it. Police, they should look into it. And even close to like 8 or more were saying, oh, I've inside this man car before, or I'm a victim, or I almost got kidnapped. What? The worst part of this issue is that it has been reported to the police, but police did nothing about it.
To every reader, this is not just a story. This is a call to wake up, a call to demand safety, a call to make sure that no man, no matter how cunning, is allowed to use the will as a weapon against women again. Because as long as this man is allowed to drive, every woman on the road is in danger.
The government is not doing anything. Somebody should do something about this guy.
Every single day, Lagos generates over 13,000 metric tons of solid waste, more than many African countries produce in a week. But less than half of this waste is properly collected or disposed, while the rest piles up in streets, markets, and growing dump sites across the city, turning communities into ticking time bombs. From Ojota to Agege, Ayobo to Yanoba, and across Lagos, Waste is piling up faster than it can be managed, threatening both the health of residents and the environment.
Very, very hard, like just to struggle for myself and for my kids too. So that life in this place is just for you to look for somewhere to just hide your head, just put your head.
And they face a lot of challenges here in this place because like what I'm saying here, the place they live, kind of work they do, where they cook and what they eat every day. It's going to affect them because many of them are here just for them to survive.
There is just one of two things that is come up is that they will have to sell something before they will see money here to eat. Either they sell plastic or a rubber or keg or nylon. So they'll need to sell it. They'll work hard to get the money here. But in this place, you see a lot of people they are living here. It's not like they don't have the money to rent house, but the money is too hard for them to see. Even though if they see the money safe, they will have to buy something. If rain fall, you will see a lot of water before you are coming into this place.
But beyond residents, thousands of people depend on these dump sites for survival, selling foods and scavenging recyclables in risky and unhealthy conditions just to make a living. The question remains, how is the government tackling this challenge, and what is the plan for communities like Ojota, where the health of thousands is at stake?
We have monitoring and compliance officers who go around to enforce environmental laws. So since last year, we've arrested and prosecuted close to 200 offenders for littering, for dumping bulk waste. And we've also sealed a lot of facilities, commercial facilities that have not been obeying the environmental laws. We need to reduce the amount of waste we're generating. We need to reuse as much of that waste as possible, and also to recycle as much as possible. And that.
Hello. Hello and welcome. We are glad to have you join us today on African News 24 TV. I am Christiana Chikezi. First, the headlines. Federal High Court sentences NNAMDI Kanu to life imprisonment. Nigeria Air Force launches airstrikes on terrorist hideout in Sambisa. Federal government blames killings, abduction in KWARA, KEBBI on Donald Trump's threats. Now to the meat of the bulletin. A federal high court in Abuja has sentenced the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, NNAMDI Kanu, to life imprisonment. In a judgment which lasted about 5 hours on Thursday, the presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment for the charges 1, 4, 5, and 6, which border on terrorism. The court expressed worry over the fact that the defendant has not shown remorse or known the magnitude of the offenses he committed, describing him as arrogant, cocky, and full of himself. For count 3, he was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment without option of fine. For count 7, 5 years imprisonment without option of fine. The count also ruled that the sentences shall run concurrently. The court noted unruly behavior of NNAMDI Kanu, who was described as having the tendency of violence and for which he is to be kept in facility suitable for him. The court also ruled that the defendant should not be allowed access to any digital device except with the close monitoring of the National Security Advisor. Justice Omotosho ruled that Kanu be put in protective custody due to the number of lives that had been lost from the activities of his group. Additionally, the court ruled that Kanu lost ownership of his transmitter to the federal government. The judgment put an end to about 10 years of legal battle. Kanu lost his case in a matter which tried him for terrorism over his secessionist activities, calling for the independence of Nigeria's Igbo-dominated southeast and some parts of the neighboring states as Biafra. And before that judgment, there was a mild drama in court during the proceeding as Kanu went confrontational with the presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho. The presiding judge was about to commence the judgment delivery, when he directed the registrar to call the case between the federal government and Kanu. The IPOB leader stood up and interjected, saying, quote, "My lord, there is no judgment today because we have joint issues in the matter." End of quote. Justice Omotosho, in response, advised Kanu to follow court processes, saying, quote, "Defendant, there is decorum in court. Let the registrar call the matters accordingly." End of quote. Kanu, however, insisted that he was entitled to file his final written address. Kanu went on to openly challenge the judge over what he described as procedural violations and the use of non-existent laws in his prosecution. He accused the judge of not knowing the law. Following the heated exchange, the judge directed the operatives of the Department of State Service to take the IPOB leader out of the courtroom, the implication of which is that Kanu's judgment was read in his absence. Away from that, but still in security, the air component of Operation Hadim Kai, Nigeria Air Force, has launched decisive airstrikes on ARRA, a notorious terrorist hideout in Sambisa, BORNO State. The NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, made this known in a statement. Ejodame said the strike was carried out after a directive from the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke. Ejodame said the operation followed intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions that tracked terrorist movements after the October 17 ambush at Kashomri. He stated that persistent surveillance over Kashomri and Sambisa revealed suspicious activities and active terrorist structures at ARRA. He noted that NAF aircraft engaged designated targets through coordinated and successive attack runs. The NAF spokesman said all identified targets were destroyed, degrading terrorists' capabilities and disrupting their command and logistics systems. Ejodame said the operation reflects NAF's commitment to protecting the nation and supporting ground forces across all operational fronts. He added that the NAF remains determined to neutralize threats, defend Nigeria's territory, and advance lasting peace nationwide. Meanwhile, the federal government is blaming the attacks on KEBBI and KWARA states on the remarks by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Judge Akume, alleges that the killing and kidnap of 25 schoolgirls in KEBBI State and the attack on a church in Ekuru in KWARA State stemmed from the threat by the United States President. He alleges that Trump's threat emboldened opportunistic violent groups. Akume is of the opinion that Trump's threat is of deploying U.S. troops to fish out terrorists killing Christians has inadvertently brought out more terrorists who had before now degraded and reduced to isolated banditry. Let's go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll tell you how much FAAC is sharing for October. That is on business. Join us again. Welcome back. Lagos State is making history on the financial stage, securing 2 landmark bond issuance worth a combined 244.8 billion naira, an achievement that positions the state as a trailblazer in both climate finance and large-scale infrastructure funding. Our correspondent Lydia Ajayi has more on this report.
44.8 billion naira through 2 landmark bond issuances. The state signed a 14.8 billion naira green bond, Nigeria's first certified subnational climate bond, and a 230 billion naira conventional bond, the largest ever by any subnational in sub-Saharan Africa.
We are aligning with our long-term strategy to build a Lagos that is not only prosperous, but also environmentally secure for future generations.
Both bonds were heavily oversubscribed, reflecting strong investor confidence. The Lagos State Commissioner for Finance, Abayomi Oluyomi, says the funds will support key projects in transportation, housing, healthcare, education, and climate-friendly infrastructure.
Not only did we obtain a second opinion on the green, but our green bond also meets global standards and are certified by the globally recognized Climate Bond Initiative.
Advisors Bolaji Balogun and Timilola Akimiade says the issuances set new standards for transparency and sustainable financing.
This 230 billion issuance is not only the largest ever issuance by a state, it is the largest issuance by any issuer,
which are now opening up new opportunities for growth and investment.
Lagos says the proceeds will deliver long-term value for its residents. Lydia Ajayi, Africa News 24 TV.
And for more on business, let's join Praise Adeleke. Hello, Praise.
Thank you. Welcome to business. The Federation Account Allocation Committee shared 2.94 trillion naira revenue to the federal government, state, and local government council in October 2025. The revenue was shared at the FAAC meeting in Abuja on Wednesday, November 19. The FAAC, in a communique issued at the end of the meeting, said the 2.94 trillion naira total distributable revenue comprised of statutory revenue of 1.376 trillion naira, value-added tax revenue of 670.303 billion naira, and electronic money transfer levy revenue 47.870 billion naira. The FAAC stated that total gross revenue of 2.934 trillion naira was available in October. It disclosed that the total deduction for cost of collection was 115.278 billion naira, while total transfer, interventions, refunds and savings was 724.603 billion naira. And now the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has given assurances of its new maritime labor e-platform, meeting global standards for protecting seafarers' rights and improving their working condition. The agency believes that the digital system will make Nigeria's maritime sector more competitive. At a workshop in Lagos, NIMASA showed seafarers and dock workers how to register, verify their details and get their ID card through the new portal. NIMASA's Executive Director for Maritime Labour, Jibril Abba, said the platform is part of the agency's move towards full digital operations. He explains that it helps NIMASA keep a proper register of all maritime workers as required by the law. The federal government officially launched the platform in June during the 2025 Day of the Seafarer and described it as a major step in modernizing maritime labor management in Nigeria. And that's it on business. It's back to you for the
Thank you, Praise. And on the foreign scene, Trump signs bill to release EPSTEIN documents. United States President Donald Trump has signed into law legislation requiring the release of government records on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump had over the weekend reversed his months-long opposition to Epstein Files Transparency Act and ensuring that it sailed through Congress in a rare show of bipartisan unity. The president, a former friend of the late sex offender, announced on social media that he had signed the bill, foregoing any media spectacle of the event. Insiders warned that even with the president's signature, his administration could lean on redactions, procedural delays, or lingering federal investigations to keep explosive details out of the public eye. Let us head to the sports arena where the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been ranked 38th globally in the latest FIFA ranking recently released by the world governing body. The Super Eagles climbed in the table but still trail Morocco, Senegal and Egypt and Algeria, who remain Africa's top 5 teams in the latest ranking. Spain kept their hold on the top spots with Argentina, France and England staying close behind them. The ranking shifted after a busy international window that ended UEFA and CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers and settled the final CAF and AFC playoff fixtures. And on entertainment, Nigerian singer Faith is enjoying a fresh wave of attention after her song Intentions went viral only weeks after release, following the unexpected rise of an AI-generated version that swept through social media. Intentions had a quiet start, but the AI remake, which circulated heavily on TikTok and X, popularly known as Twitter, sparked a surge in streams and pushed listeners back to Faith's original track. Faith has since reacted to the trend, saying she's comfortable with the AI-inspired breakout. She also released a new version of the song, using the same lyrics that went viral but performed in her own voice. The moment has placed Faith among the most talked about artists of the week, highlighting how AI-driven edits are increasingly shaping music discovery and boosting songs long after release. That's all we have for you at this hour. Thank you for staying with us on African News 24 TV. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms displayed on your screen to stay informed and ahead. We'll be back with more updates in our next broadcast. I'm Christiana Chikezie. Bye for now.